Welcome to the Valuation Desk by Highland Global, where SBA business valuations speak bank. Thank you for joining me. As bankers and lending professionals, you're on the front lines of business financing, and understanding how valuations are developed is critical to making sound lending decisions. Today, I'm going to walk you through a key tool in the valuation toolkit: transaction databases. We'll focus on three of the most widely used ones: BIZCOMPS, ValuSource Market Comps, and DealStats, used in the market approach's direct market data method. These databases can be incredibly powerful, but they come with real-world limitations. Let's explore both sides so you know what to watch for. First, why do transaction databases matter? They give us empirical data from actual business sales, real numbers from real deals. In theory, that's gold. But in practice, they require careful handling to avoid misleading results. Let's start with BIZCOMPS. BIZCOMPS is designed for small Main Street businesses. It focuses on asset sales, which makes it clean and simple for many SBA loan valuations. It provides metrics like revenue, sale price, and seller's discretionary earnings. But here's the catch. Some of these transactions are old, going back to the 1990s. The data often skews towards certain industries and specific regions. So if you're valuing a liquor store in California using comps from the Mid-Atlantic, that may not be a great match. Plus, BIZCOMPS gives you the basics but not much else. No deal terms, no context, and no insight into what drove the sale price. Now that we've seen BIZCOMPS focus on small businesses, let's look at a broader database: ValuSource Market Comps. This one casts a wide net with over 49,000 transactions across hundreds of industries as of early 2025. It comes with tools like regression analysis and filters for size, sector, or region. That flexibility is fantastic. But the data is pulled from multiple sources, like business brokers and industry reports, which can lead to inconsistencies in how terms like earnings are defined. And here's a heads up: some deals in ValuSource might also appear in DealStats because they share sources like broker submissions. If you're not careful, you could double count a transaction and skew your averages. And much like BIZCOMPS, the transactions go back several decades. Next, let's move to DealStats. This database goes deeper, covering both stock and asset sales, often for mid-sized businesses. It provides multiple years of financials, like revenue and net income, plus buyer/seller roles, and sometimes limited deal terms. So what pitfalls do all three databases share? Let's hit the big ones. Regional differences. A business in New York may not sell for the same multiple as one in Phoenix. Local market conditions drive small business pricing. Statistical reliability. Regressions from these databases often have R-squared values below 0.5. That means the data explains only a small part of the valuation, so you can't rely on it alone. Disparities with the income approach. Market-based valuations often differ sharply from the capitalization of earnings method, which can raise red flags. Opaque deal terms. You rarely get details on financing, earnouts, or what drove the sale price, making it tough to judge comparability. Experts back this up. The Georgia Association of Business Brokers warns against mixing data across databases because definitions, like seller's discretionary earnings, vary. Missing deal context can undermine reliability. And BIZCOMPS itself says, don't combine its data with others unless you're making careful adjustments. So, what does this mean for you as bankers? Transaction databases are helpful, but they're not gospel. They work best when paired with income-based and asset-based methods, not as a standalone solution. Valuation is part science, part art, and it takes professional judgment to get it right. When you review a valuation report that leans on database multiples, ask these questions. Are the comps truly comparable? Is the data recent and relevant to today's market? Do the results align with income-based methods? Don't hesitate to push appraisers on how they handled these database limitations. It could make all the difference in your lending decision. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Valuation Desk. When you need clarity, confidence, and credibility, experience makes all the difference. At Highland Global, we don't just crunch numbers. We provide insight, context, and defensible conclusions that lenders can count on. For more information on valuation-related topics, be sure to visit our website, highlandglobal.com. Lenders know experience matters most.